Okay, I have not yet really decided on a format. Some of the YouTubers do every issue. Some of them do them in groups of two. Seeing as how these arrive in a box with four, I might just keep it at that. But I don't know for sure yet. I haven't really decided. At any rate, I have my four issues set out. Issue 1, Issue 2, Issue 3, and Issue 4. These are my glasses for being able to look at small stuff. Files. As you can tell, I've already got into some of it. Having watched a few different build videos, one thing I noticed was the builders tended to not keep track of all their small parts, because there are some very small parts that come with this, especially when you're going to be working with all this framework. There's a lot of really tiny screws and connectors. So I decided I would go get myself some little Tupperwares and label them all as to what they are. And as every shipment came in, I would go through and I would get everything all sorted out. So I've got my 4 connectors, my 2 connectors, 8mm brass, black screws, silver self-tapping screws, and those 3 are for 3 other types of screws that I don't have yet, because this is only the first month. I spent some time this morning working on this particular package. Give me a moment here. I have big fat fingers, so reaching into some of these little things is kind of hard to do. Now, here we are. This is one part of the quad laser. This is cast in metal, and it's exactly like any other type of model making, meaning that there is a mold that comes into parts, and once the item is extracted from the mold, there are seam lines. So this one, I've spent the morning sanding, and these get really uncomfortable to hold when you're sanding because they really pinch into your fingers. But it's not too bad now. It could be a little better. The very ends of the quad lasers, I still have to come up with a way to drill them out a little bit, because they should be drilled out. Otherwise, laser beams don't come out. So I've done this one, I've done the mounting bracket. These 2 don't need to be done. So I still have this one left to do. But once I got done with these 2, I got kind of bored with that. So I decided I would move on to one of the bigger inconsistencies that they did with this model. This is the upper quad laser window, and further along into the build I'll actually have a little compartment down in here, like the gunner's seat and all that, with a little light in it. I'll be building that too. But because DeAgostini, I don't think they quite realized the kind of people they were building this for. They had this window in like that, and it's supposed to be like that. So there was a lot of kind of grumpy fans. Or do I have this the wrong way? Where's my little tab? There's a little tab here. Oops. Here's the little tab. And yeah, it sits in that way, but it's supposed to be that way. So I had it all bass-ackwards first time through. Sorry. So I was just in the process of working on this when I got called to go to work. So it sat here in the living room, and I've been thinking about it all day just because I wanted to get back and work on this. So my next step is just to cut this little tab off and then re-glue it. Okay, so I have got this thing repositioned. This should be the way this is how it is supposed to sit. Now, this by the way is the top gunnery turret. Basically, the way to tell is it's got all the paint on it. Now, I did not paint this. It came with this paint on it. Although I'm pretty darn sure I'm going to completely repaint the whole darn thing. That's just on a side note. But so I completely eyeballed this in place, and once I got it done, I thought, well, I did not do a very bad job on that. It looks pretty darn good. So I put a piece of tape across it, and then I used it's called mercury adhesive, but really it's just a super glue. Your basic, what is it, cyanoacrylate, crazy glue. But I also hit it with this stuff, which instantly sets any of that kind of a glue. So once I put my 4 little daubs of glue in there, and then I took a toothpick and I smeared it all around, and then I hit it a couple of times with my kicker. That's slang for this stuff, is a kicker. But it makes it set pretty darn quick. Okay, so here we have the completed hull section that came out of all 4 of these issues. To give you an idea of where this sits, so let me move it a little bit here. Coming along here, right here, this will be the cockpit. That, I believe, is coming in my next month. Now, one of the interesting things is it comes pre-weathered. So you can see all the dark smudges that it comes with. But sometimes it's a little uneven, because damn, this one's really dark. You can really see everything on that one. This, by the way, is only placed on. It has to be screwed in yet. Turn this a little bit so the light will hit it, and then get me a pointy thing. So I would be screwing it in here and here and over in these areas. But having watched one of the guys I watch, his name is Brad M73. Hi Brad, if you're watching this. He recommends not screwing any of these in, because this is plastic, and the screws that are going in here are self-tapping, which means as I were to screw the screws in, it would actually cut its path into the plastic. And you do that too many times and you can wind up wrecking that particular piece of plastic. The screw will be fine, but your piece of plastic, well, that'll be just totally ratched. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold off screwing any of the plating onto the metal. I'm going to leave that as long as I can. This screwdriver, by the way, you get one of those. And these little black screws. Oh boy, when you've got great big fat friggin' sausage fingers like I do, these little screws, they're a bit of a pain in the butt to work with. But I did it, and oh, I can hardly wait to see the rest of this. One assembled piece of hull on my blueprint, just so that everybody has an idea. I have issues 1 to 4. In the UK, where this particular model subscription originated, they're up to issue, I think it's around 74. And to be current in North America, you would be on issue 68. So I got a ways to go.